Hey, what's up guys? My name is Caitlin Santos and I'm a student at the Hugh Hodgson School of Music and newest intern to the Morton Theater family. Welcome to the hot corner of Athens. Located on the corner of West Washington and Hull Street, the Morton Building has served in what seems like every way possible. In addition to housing the theater, the building also functioned as a doctor's office, dentist office, hair salon, pool hall, pharmacy, and funeral home. But this all could not have been done without the determination of the man we all know as Pink Morton. Monroe Bowers Morton, better known as Mr. Pink Morton, was born on May 1853 to his African-American mother, who was a former slave, and his white father. Mr. Morton spent most of his life living in the classic city. But prior to the American Civil War, he attended a secret school in Savannah, Georgia, where he later on became a messenger for the Freedmen's Bureau, an organization established to help freed slaves after the end of the Civil War. After working as an engineer for railway systems, Pink Morton made his way back to Athens, Georgia, where he then became a prominent figure in his community. Pink served as a contractor, U.S. Postmaster, Republican Party delegate, a newspaper publisher, and owned approximately 25 to 30 buildings in the area. Mr. Morton overcame several racial prejudices and did what seemed to be the impossible for an African American man during this time. This, of course, made him the Renaissance man of his time. Construction of the Morton Theater began in 1909. With Pink Morton's experience as a contractor, he was able to add a very unique and personal touch to the design of the theater. In fact, many of the resources used to create the Morton Theater were recycled materials from Pink's previous job sites. By May 18, 1910, the Morton Building was completed and opened the same night with a show by Alice Carter Simmons. Music from all sorts of prominent African American artists like Cab Calloway, Duke Ellington, Black Patty, and so many more flooded the streets near the Morton Theater, giving it its nickname as the hot corner of Athens. As the owner and operator of the theater, Mr. Morton oftentimes worked as the lighting director or stage director on show days. But he wasn't the only professional occupying the space. As mentioned before, the Morton Building served many other roles outside of just being a theater. Dr. Ida Mae Johnson Hiram had a dentist office here at the Morton Building. In fact, she was one of the first African American females licensed to practice medicine in the state of Georgia. Some other professionals included Dr. W.H. Harris, a Harvard graduate MD, who also operated the pharmacy right behind me. And there was also Dr. Blanche Thompson, one of the first African American female medical doctors in the state of Georgia. 5 years after establishing his newspaper company, The Progressive Era, Mr. Morton passed away at the age of 66, leaving behind his wife and 4 children. His son would go on to continue the family business. Business continued, but it wasn't until in 1954, when the projection room caught fire, that the Morton Theater would have to close its doors indefinitely due to safety risk. For many years, the building lay dormant, becoming what was known as Athens' largest pigeon house. The Morton family eventually sold the theater in the 1970s and remained closed thereafter. It wasn't until years later that some young musicians in the Athens area would soon discover the malnurtured theater and begin to use it as their own practice space. These groups would go on to be known as REM and the B-52s. This discovery quickly led to the establishment of the Morton Theater Corporation, whose sole purpose was to pick the Morton Theater back up on its feet and restore years and years of damage. The Morton Theater Corporation was able to buy back the theater from the bond company. Soon after, they received a grant of $1.8 million, where they were able to continue renovations of the theater. With a new roof, new stage, and a whopping total of 480 seats, the Morton Theater was back in business. It was all thanks to the members of the Athens community who fought hard to keep the cultural arts and history of the theater alive. This is Caitlin Santos, and thanks for tuning in.